Every woman out there is conditioned to think, I should be able to do this by myself, but it's got to stop. Every task that drains you in your business is $1 lost in your business, not because you're doing it wrong, just because you're doing everything. Let that sink in for a second. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonidas, and it's just me today. Today, I'm talking about something that I am really passionate about. Today, I want to talk about women asking for help, whether this be in your life or in your business. Every task that drains you is $1 lost in your business, not because you're doing it wrong, but because it drains you. The late nights, the mental load, the constant switching between roles, the deep exhaustion of doing things that you don't know how to do, or maybe you do know how to do, but you don't like doing them. It all drains you. Now, granted, being an entrepreneur, it's not easy and the budgets aren't huge and we're all chasing the revenue. But at the end of the day, if you are draining yourself, your energy, your time, and your thoughts and your strategy, you are taking dollars away from your business. We think doing more saves money, but it's actually costing us growth opportunities. So here's why women delay asking for help, right? I mean, this should feel pretty true and pretty easy, but we think, I should be able to do this myself. I'm not making enough money yet. It feels easier just to do it. But you don't hire when everything is perfect. You hire so things can actually grow. Okay, let's pause and talk about that for a second. I love this concept of I just started, or I don't have enough money yet, or why spend money on something that I could do myself? And then think about the mom, yourself as a mom, who is bringing in the 30 bags of groceries with a house full of people not because they don't want to help, but because she didn't ask for it. Or think about the time you hurt your back moving the furniture because you just wanted to rearrange something, but you were too embarrassed to ask for help because what if someone judged you for redecorating again? Or think about the business owner who puts her kids to bed and then opens up the laptop and works till midnight, but has to wake up early to make lunches in the morning because she's doing it by herself and she is burning out at both ends. I know that feels really, really familiar. And here's the thing. You are only human with only so much energy and so much resource and so much knowledge and so much capacity. And of that energy, knowledge, resource, and capacity, only so much of it can be quality because, again, we are human beings, not human doings. So when we think about the mom who is so burnt out at home, who is taking care of all the children, maybe she doesn't work, but maybe she is involved in her community. Her kids are really little and she is just trying to keep them alive because we all know what those little stages are, trying to keep them alive. And she can't keep up with the house. And so she never invites family or friends to come over because she feels like her house is a mess. And she's so mad at herself because that's like her quote unquote job, to be able to hold the whole household together. And she's beating herself up about it. But she is changing diapers, orchestrating nap schedules, getting someone on a feeding schedule, signing up at school, being involved in her community, exercising. I mean, I don't have to go on. We all know this. We've all been this mom. If she had the ability to be able to ask for help and get help, whether it be with the kids or with the house, don't you think just the littlest bit of help would give her that space to take that deep breath and be like, okay, now I can do this. Same goes for business. If you are doing the bookkeeping, the social media, the product development, the selling, the content creation, the measurement, the everything. And at first, it's so exciting. You're like, yes, I got this. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to be an expert at everything because I'm an entrepreneur and I can do it. That's true. You are an entrepreneur and you can do it. But you will get to this point where you start to resent the tasks. You start to resent whatever it is that drains your energy or whatever it is that feels hard. And those are two really different things. Like coming from corporate background, one of the best things you can do is surround yourself with people who are better, brighter, and smarter than you because rising tides lift all boats, right? And also the same thing goes if you're doing something in your business that you just hate doing. That energy drain takes away from the things that you are so good at that actually drives the business. And not to mention just the hours in the day. If you are doing absolutely everything, but you haven't really hit that profitability mark yet, or you haven't hit those goals, take a step back and figure out where you can ask for help. Because again, if you're doing it all, you're taking away from your ability to grow your business. And we're going to get into, okay, but yes, I'm not making money, or yes, I want to hire, I don't feel confident that I know all parts of my business yet. So how can I ask someone for help when I don't even know what I'm asking for? We're going to get into all that, but just let that stage setting sink in of why women don't ask for help, or at least delay investing in help. And then let us not forget the mindset that goes behind women asking for help. I should be able to do this on myself. I should be able to figure this out. I should be able to keep the house clean. I should have the kids on a perfect schedule. I'm their mother. I should be able to do this and that. Yeah. Or asking for help often is harder than doing it yourself. It is going to, if you are carrying in the 30 bags of groceries and you've got 3 teenagers inside, you're going to get the groans, even though they want to help their mom. You're going to get the groans being like, ugh. Fine. Yes, I'll come help you. Or why do I have to help you? I helped you last time. At the end of the day, you're building kids that help their mother. And like, what a great example. And you're getting the help that you need. And the groceries get in faster and you unpack them faster and dinner's on the table faster. Like it gets better with help. And the same goes for business. You're like, I should be able to do it all myself. Or, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming to think about having to go on Upwork. Or how am I going to afford to pay anyone? Or why take that money off the table when I could be doing it myself? These shoulds, I should be able to do it. I should be able to figure it out. I should be able to fit it all in. I just have to be more efficient. I just have to try harder. It's a hardcore reframe. Success is not a luxury, and support is not a luxury. Support is not a luxury. It's a growth strategy. If you're building your dream business and you know you need to build an email list, but the idea of picking and using an email platform totally overwhelms you, trust me, I get it. But I've got you, girl. Flowdesk is where it's at. Flowdesk is the email marketing platform designed with female entrepreneurs in mind. Think gorgeous, on-brand templates plus powerful workflows that save you hours. I promise you, I've never used an easier email platform with such stunning results. Whether you're sending an email launching a new offer or podcast episode, sharing new news, or trying out a fancy workflow to convert a new email subscriber into a paying customer, Flowdesk helps you show up professionally with ease without spending a ton of time or money. And not to mention, these emails are gorgeous. And because you're a Write Your Own Story podcast listener, you get an exclusive 50% off your first year of Flowdesk. Plus, they'll send you $19 cash back when you join using the link in the show notes. So if you're ready to send stunning emails that convert and actually enjoy the process, click the link in the show notes and give Flowdesk a try. That's 50% off your first year plus $19 back in your pocket. Check out Flowdesk today. It's like your super talented email writing best friend. I promise you won't regret it. Now, back to the episode. Okay, so what does that mean? If you oh my gosh, it's like, just think about it. Anything, you could do it alone or you could do it with help. And what do you think is going to go faster? If you go to build a house and you're like, no problem, got my hammer and my nails and my saw. Clearly I built so many houses. And you're going to build it yourself. How long is that going to take you? And how many times are you going to have to stop and Google? And how many times are you going to question yourself? But if you get help in building that house, think about how fast that's going to be built and how strong it's going to be and how sure you're going to be in it because you asked for help in areas where you didn't know what to do. The most successful businesses are built with help. I mean, look at all of them. Look at all the social media famous entrepreneurs that you look up to. Are they doing it alone? No. Are they doing it with help? Absolutely. Doing it all is basically staying stuck in maintenance mode. Let that sink in. We all know what maintenance mode is, right? There's sort of that like startup mode, right? You're building all the things, you're doing all the things, you're setting up all the systems. And that's a different energy than once you're up, running, selling. Then you get into maintenance mode. But if you actually want to grow, if you want to sell in a more effective way, if you want to bring in new products, if you want to develop new service lines, if you want to test out new strategies, you have to get out of maintenance mode. Maintenance mode does not grow the business. So again, it is all about this mental reframe of, I want to get out of maintenance mode. I want to grow. Also, we all know how maintenance mode feels. It's boring. You're spinning the wheels, you're pushing, 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 and you aren't growing. And we all need that type of intrinsic motivation of progress and growth in order to be able to keep growing and keep going. So why not invest in that energy in yourself? Okay, so let's say you're listening to this and you're like, okay, yes, I need help. I need help. I need to do it. But I don't know how to figure out where I need help, or I don't know how to ask for help, or I don't know how to budget for help, or I don't know. There's just a lot of facets to getting help. And that is really real and really honest. If you're stuck in that spot and overwhelmed by it, like, oh my gosh, I completely hear you and I see you and I've been you. So don't sweat it. I have a really simple framework that I like to use when I'm like trying to evaluate what do we need, what do I need, and how do I get it? So it's the 4 Ds. It's drain, decide, delegate, and debrief. Love me a debrief. Drain. What task is consistently draining me? Like literally draining my energy. Like, yes, I can do it. Sure, of course I can do it because we're women and we can figure absolutely anything out. So yeah, no, I can do it. But does it drain me? What do you procrastinate, avoid, and dread? I know that something so clearly in your mind is coming to surface. I know there is for me. I know exactly what it is. I hate doing one thing in my business. And I'm in prepping for this episode and prepping for this webinar that is coming up around asking for help. It is such a gift to myself, as odd as that sounds, because it makes me take a look at how am I using help? Where am I still draining? Where could I pour more energy into? So in the first of the 4 Ds, let's figure out what is draining us. What tasks are consistently draining you? What are you procrastinating, avoiding, and dreading? And why? That is the first, these are the first clues, those drains, those sucks, those energy sucks, as to this is probably where I need some help or I need to make a change. Then you decide, what do I actually need help in? So again, if you're thinking of a task that drains your energy or drains your time or you procrastinate, etc., do you actually need to be doing that? Can you do it differently? Or do you genuinely need help? And where is your time the most valuable? If we think about the mom who might need some help keeping her house in order, like every other mom really wants help keeping their house in order, your most valuable time is taking care of yourself and taking care of your children. If you have a partner in your life, they will absolutely agree with you. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself. And your greatest gift is your ability to raise these wonderful children. It is the most honorable thing that you can do in your life if you have chosen that path. And it is the greatest gift that you've given yourself if you've chosen that path. So lean into it and know where your energy is the most valuable. If you're a business owner and you're like, where is my energy most valuable? Where is the value that you provide? Why did you start this business in the first place? What is the thing that only you can do? And it lights you up when you get to do it. That you protect with wild abandon. You put the oxygen mask on that and you preserve that. You block your calendar around that. That is what you do well. What are the areas that you need growth in? Maybe it's selling. What are the areas that you want to learn more in? Does that give you energy? Where are the areas that only you can do it? Those you don't delegate for help. But what are the other areas that you can have for support help? Then you actually get to delegate. Start small. This is so important. So important. Let's go back to the housekeeper person. Maybe it's once a month they hire someone for a deep clean. So it's not someone in the house every week, but it's once a month for a fresh reset. Or maybe cleaning's going okay, but you just can't keep up with the piles. Okay, I'm talking about me. Actually, I genuinely have help with both. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to budget to be able to have help both cleaning and organizing my house because I'm a single mom of 4, also running a business. And those are 2 things that drain me. I can maintain the cleanliness and I can maintain the organizational systems, but doing the hard work that is low dopamine for my special brain, I've been able to delegate. So again, start small. I didn't start at that level of help. I started small. In your business, start small. Maybe you hire someone on Upwork for one specific task that has been overwhelming you or draining you. Or maybe you just start with bookkeeping and maybe you're really low on budget. Is there something that you could trade services with? Or what's within your budget that you could have for quarterly help, twice a year help? You got to be creative because this is not a black and white exercise. Getting help, and also it's not like a one and done. It's very fluid. Hey, fellow boss babe, if you're craving less time on social because it feels like you're constantly in your comments and DMs trying to respond back to your potential customers, I totally get it. When I had my e-commerce business, I felt like I checked Instagram every 5 minutes. But what if there was a smarter, easier way to connect with your audience? Good news, there is. Let me introduce you to ManyChat, my go-to tool for automating messages on Instagram, Facebook, and even text. With ManyChat, you can set up automated conversations in minutes. No tech headaches, no coding required. Trust me, if I can figure it out, so can you. It's perfect for handling links to your offers, growing your list with DM keywords, and even booking clients literally while you sleep. It's efficient, super user-friendly, and honestly, it's like having a virtual assistant built right into your DMs. And the best part? Because you're a friend of the Write Your Own Story podcast, you can try it totally free for your first month. Just use the link in the show notes. Is there anything better than to test something for your business for an entire month with no cost attached? It's my favorite. So if you're ready to save time, respond faster, and turn followers into clients, tap the link in the show notes and give ManyChat a try for free. First month's on me. Grab the offer today and go enjoy a much-needed break from your phone. You deserve it. So once you've delegated, start small, one task, one role, one step at a time. I just interviewed someone 2 episodes ago, maybe 1 episode ago. Her name was Ashley, and she was all about teaching women sort of making changes in their life, one small step at a time versus these big pivots and big rebrands and big redos and blow your life up. And that conversation was so important for me because as an ADHD girly, I'll hyperfixate on something and I'll be like, now I'm going to just do the whole thing, make it bigger, make it better, do the whole thing. When really, truly, the way to make genuine, significant change is one small step at a time. So same goes for delegating, one role, one task, one step at a time. So that's delegate. So we've talked about drain, decide, and delegate. And the last is debrief. It's important to check in and evaluate. Is this giving me time, energy, or revenue back? And you have every right to adjust, to abort the plan and pick a new one. Because here's the thing, just like in life, all we're doing is making the next step and doing our best to make that step the next right step, right? I mean, we don't know the answers. No one's given us the rule book. I've been looking for 44 years. So all you can do is once you've invested in help is to kind of like pick moments to be able to check in with yourself and check in with whom you've asked for help. And I think one of the other things is really important to have sort of the measures in place of why you've invested in this help. Is it to get your energy back? Is it to get more revenue in your company? Is it to feel better about yourself, etc.? But to be really clear as to your why. And then when you debrief and evaluate and have these sort of like check-in moments, you have very specific metrics. Maybe they're quantifiable, maybe they're not, that you can evaluate. Is this working and is this not? And you're going to learn a lot in this process so that when you go to ask for help in another area, you've learned about what you really need, what you don't, how it works financially, etc. You just have to let yourself be new at stuff, and you have to let yourself be uncomfortable getting help. And you just got to get over it and just ask for help, because more than anything, we see women suffering from trying to do it all themselves. And not only are we suffering in our personal lives trying to do it all ourselves, throwing our back out, moving the furniture, getting upset, but not telling anyone because no one seems to want to help when we really haven't ever asked for help. And the same goes for your business. Is it not growing as fast enough? Have you overinvested in help? Have you underinvested in help? You are in control, and you have the ability to make that kind of change and invest in the help that you absolutely need and deserve. So what does the right support actually look like? I think most importantly, stick to practical on this one. Stick to small steps and stick to practical. So it doesn't have to be the full team, right? Like, I think for me, the first person that I invested in help with in this business was I needed someone, Juanita, who is my just dear friend at this point and first hire was to be my podcast producer. So my gift is I am great at storytelling. I love storytelling. I love connecting with humans. I love kind of connecting what the audience needs to what the storyteller is trying to tell, to kind of how to weave it all together and come back with something impactful. Juanita takes the ability to take that story that I've created or co-created with someone and turn it into something that the world can actually see in a high quality way and in a meaningful way. That is something that would absolutely drain me, because making these just literally lights my heart on fire. But then figuring out sort of all the details to produce and then get this out into the world blows my mind. Then I was able to hire a virtual assistant after probably a year after that, because I realized I was having a hard time keeping up with all the admin side of the business that was taking away from my ability to strategically grow the business. So that has been another exceptional hire. But those were really slow and steady in between. And now, as the business continues to grow and develop, I get to pause, take a look at the help that I have, take a look at my revenue goals, take a look at the costs that I'm in and the tasks, and just continue to evaluate, because that's what a business owner does. But what I do know is that I have the time in my schedule to create meaningful content in these podcasts and do them as the best that I absolutely can. I have the time to develop these monthly webinars. I have the time to sell my services. I have the time to invest in growing my coaching practice. I even took the time this summer to get certified in an area of coaching in more like a life coach kind of area, because I really feel that entrepreneurship is a life assignment. I was also craving some more structure in my coaching practice. Long story long, because that's the only kind of story I know how to tell. When you're making what does the right support actually look like, we talked about in sort of the debrief section of the 4D framework of what are your metrics for what help should look like and feel like and produce. Those are really your 3 evaluation criteria, but start small. So my podcast producer has turned out to be what it looks like as she gets all of my episodes out on time on all the platforms in the highest quality and produces 3 clips an episode, does the show notes. I mean, literally just all the details tied in a bow. What it feels like is someone who is so supportive, who gives me feedback, who encourages me, who keeps me on time and on schedule, who helps me troubleshoot when I have production issues. And what are like the tangible results? This podcast is in the top 10% of all the podcasts in the globe, because I have the most incredible support, and it has given me the freedom to turn my gifts into what this is and to connect with these incredible women who get to be on the show. So again, that's what it should feel like. It feels like a breath of fresh air. I feel so grateful for it every day. And so that to me is worth investing in. So if you are someone in life who is really struggling to ask for help, or is starting to wonder, do I need help? Is feeling the energy kind of draining from you? This is something that I see in business a lot. This is something that I've lived in business a lot. And this is something that I have a lot of conversations around on the podcast, as you guys know. So that is why I've developed in my monthly webinar series. This is why I've added it to the docket of things to talk about, which is how do we ask for help? So if you are wondering and interested in thinking about, okay, I need help, but I don't know where to start, this is exactly why I created this. So we're going to talk about knowing when to invest. We're going to talk about what to outsource first, how to actually delegate. What is the framework to actually be able to do so? How do you decide who's the right person to hire, and how to build support without burning out or overspending? So I think this would be, and what I love about these webinars is that they're so community based that we get a handful of women on them, and we talk about openly about what we're struggling with in our businesses and in our lives. And so, I mean, gosh, I think asking for help transcends well beyond business and well into our lives. And again, this is why I always feel like entrepreneurship is a life assignment. So if you are thinking about, okay, I need help, or I have help and I'm not sure if I have the right help, or if you're thinking about I've overinvested in help, all of this is going to be addressed in this webinar. We're going to talk about building your dream team, and what that should look like and feel like and what it should actually produce. So if you are interested, come hang out with us on April 16th. That's a Thursday. We'll be hanging out from 12:30 to 2. The webinar will be recorded. I know we are all so busy. So if you want to sign up for it, but you can't make it, you'll absolutely get the download so that you can watch it, hear all the community conversation and learn from other women, not just me. And we will also, always have worksheets and checklists. So it's something like really tangible to go back and work against. So if you're tired, but you're still dreaming, this might be your sign that you weren't meant to build this alone. Come join us on April 16th around investing in support and building your dream business. We're going to talk about everything we talked about today and actually put a plan in place for you so you can get going right away. You can grab your spot by checking out the link in the show notes. And let me just ask you one last question as I wrap up this episode. What is one thing that you're holding on to right now that you don't actually need to carry? What's that one thing you're holding on to right now that you don't actually need to carry? And what is investing in that kind of help make you feel when you think about, oh my God, someone could actually help me with this? How does that make you feel? All right, I'm going to leave that with you. But you guys, I really hope this hit. Whether you're a business owner or you're a woman out there navigating life, I hope you really take a pause and think about what kind of help you need and find the bravery and the calm and the peace in asking for it, because every woman deserves help. All right, you guys, thanks everyone for listening. Hope I catch you at the webinar, and we'll catch you next time.